Hello, I'm Bill LeMay, and thank you for watching Community Matters. We'll hope you continue to watch as we discuss issues facing our community and provide you with the resources and information needed to find solutions. Here are some surprising numbers in Raleigh. We have almost 36,000 extremely low-income renter households, yet we only have 11,085 affordable available rental units, meaning, well, we are short about 25,000 units in Raleigh. Those numbers came from our next guest, Kim Crawford, the Executive Director of the Raleigh-Wake Partnership to End and Prevent Homelessness. Kim, welcome to the show.
Whew. Thank you. Yeah.
First of all, that's a lot of numbers, which means what we're talking about impacts an awful lot of lives.
It sure does. And it is, to be clear, it's more than people that are experiencing homelessness, our unhoused population. That is our entire community. But certainly our homeless population is part of those numbers. And when we're trying to get people from homelessness to housing, they're part of those numbers, and they need to fall into that as well.
I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, it's a frightening thing, really. And I know today, more Americans than not are on that edge where it's paycheck to paycheck. Anything catastrophic could really throw you into that homelessness. So can you give us a little bit of a picture of who we're talking about? Who are the people that are most vulnerable to being homeless? And then, of course, we can go from there as to how to help them.
Sure. The largest growing population of homelessness today is women and women with kids. That's the fastest growing population. Homelessness, we can picture, and what we normally picture is the vagrant on the street, or when we're in larger cities, we see people sleeping on the street and all of that. That is a very, very small population of homelessness today. Most people that fall into homelessness are in and out in less than 14 days, never to return again. They have some resources, or they're on the edge. What our organization does is we focus on homelessness, not poverty. Poverty is a much, much larger issue in our community today. But homelessness is anybody, single men, single women, and families. But how do we stop that, or how do we make homelessness so that it is rare, brief, and non-reoccurring? So if you do happen to fall into homelessness, you don't fall back into it again. And what are those resources that you need in order for that to happen?
And that brings me to my question to talk a little bit more about exactly what it is you do and the partnership. And this is, I don't know if this is unique and different. I know we talk about homelessness a lot, or I have over the years. Is this a different perspective that we've taken with this partnership than we have in the past? Tell me more about it.
From a Wake County perspective, it absolutely is. What we are doing 2 years ago when the pandemic hit, we also took the time to reevaluate how we address homelessness in our community today. First, we need a mindset, a mind shift. Homelessness is solvable, but we need a collective impact. We need people working together, all going in the same direction, measuring the same thing. So what has happened? HUD, in the last 20 years or so, has directed all of our states to break out our communities so that the boots on the ground people, the ones that are seeing homelessness and dealing with it every day, are the ones that have a voice in how we're going to solve it. Because I can tell you, homelessness in Raleigh is different than homelessness in Asheville.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So we don't need this, one size does not fit all. So we have 12 homeless continuums of care in the state of North Carolina. The continuum of care that we are in is within the geographic region of Wake County. The Raleigh-Wake Partnership is that lead entity that's pulling everybody together. So let's just use homelessness and building of a house as the metaphor. The partnership is the general contractor. Our job is to look at the blueprints and make sure that everybody is staying within compliance. Our street outreach providers could be the electricians. Our shelters can be the plumbers. Our housing service providers can be the carpenters, all working together to address homelessness. We surely can't build a house with no foundation. We can build an entire house with no plumbing. is not livable. So we do need to follow a prescriptive path in order to have a safe, secure, affordable place to live. Our job is to simply pull everybody together and let the experts do what they do best.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, I know there are people probably viewing us right now who may have that fear, right, of being homeless. Let's say they say, LeMay, you're out of here. I'm homeless, Kim. I call you. What happens? Take me through the process.
Well, the difficult thing right now in Wake County, and it is very difficult, we, pre-pandemic, let's say February of 2020, we had 620 shelter beds for our community. Every year we have about 1,000 people experience homelessness. We had 620 beds. Once the pandemic hit, we had to socially or physically distance, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So now how many beds we have?
A lot
400.
less. Wow.
400. Well, that makes a bigger impact on those trying to get into the system, right? So when you find yourself in a housing crisis, we have a one number that you can call. Used to be that you could walk into a shelter, walk into a county regional center, but everything shut down, right? There was no more face-to-face. So we brought up a call center. So you call one number, but here's the problem. Our shelters were full, and now they have less beds. Where are you gonna go? Because we're full. We're gonna put you on a wait list. Right now we have 472 people on the wait list.
400 people plus on a wait list. Well, what do they do? They're on a wait list. Right. What do they do? They don't have a home.
Yep, they're sleeping outside. We see some of them.
Families with kids?
Families, they might be in a car. They might be doubled up. Sadly, many of our homeless youth are putting themselves in very precarious, difficult situations. And people are going to do whatever they can to try and stay safe. So then the question is, well, what do we do about that? We need movement through the system. And we all know now, depending on how you look at it, the housing market is fantastic if you're selling a house, not so good if you're trying to get a house. Because we're paying, right, or rent. What we commonly hear is that people are bidding well over and above for the price of a house.
Right.
Landlords are now also facing that situation where you and I may be looking for that one-bedroom apartment, and I say, okay, I'll give you $1,200, but you have more disposable income. You're going to go, hey, landlord, I'll give you $1,400. Who's going to get it? You are. So we have people bidding for apartments. As you said at the beginning of our conversation, we have a deficit of over 11,000. Where are people going to go? And so if we don't have movement in and then subsequently out of the system, everybody trying to come in, you're going to wait a long time in order to find a place to go.
And I want to break in here because we only have a short time left, and I hear you, and more units, more beds, important, but I also hear that that's not the end game here, unless I'm mishearing you, is that to fix this problem, you have to fix the homelessness, but also get the system out, get the people through the system and then on their feet, correct?
Correct.
How are you doing that?
The way that our homeless crisis response system works is we follow what's called a housing first model. No matter what's going on in your life, most people can address almost everything in their life if they have a safe place to go. Safe, permanent housing. Let's get you a place to live, and then we will wrap mainstream services around you. We'll connect you with doctors. We'll connect you with transportation. We'll connect you with education so that you can be successful. The worst thing we can do is put you in a house and then something happen, and we don't want you to come back to the shelter system as your first place to go for help.
Right.
We need you to know where else that there are other services out there. Homelessness is very expensive on our community. Our homeless population, because they don't have a primary care physician, where are they going to go? Emergency room. Most expensive form of health care we have. Let's address those things. Let's get you housed, regardless of the situation, whether you're sober or not, whether you're addicted or not, whether you have income or not. Let's help you get housed, and then we can deal with some of those other issues. You can deal with those issues, not me. It's your life. But I can help put those resources in front of you to help you be successful.
Is she not awesome? I mean, the energy, I would like you to be my advocate. Hopefully I never need you.
Correct.
But for those who do, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
If you do need help, 919-443-00 9496.
That's the telephone number. If you need it, don't hesitate to call Kim. In fact, don't go anywhere because we have a lot more to talk about with Kim right after this.